Greetings to you all, wherever you are, at home or abroad. You're now tuned into TalkSense Media, your voice of reason in the noise. Here we bring you the news that matters to you. Straight talk, clear facts, and honest reasoning, because you deserve to understand what's really going on. Whether it's headlines or what's happening on the streets, if it affects you or your community, we break it down and we talk sense. So let's get into today's story. In this video, I'm going to share with you an interview courtesy of Nationwide with Cliff Hughes and former Superintendent of Police Radcliffe Lewis, Head of Security, who have confirmed that attacks on JUTC buses have increased, and especially since Minister Vaz made the announcement earlier this year that they will be getting new buses. So listen to the interview for yourself, after which I will have my say.
I'm understanding this morning that sometime before 8 o'clock last evening, one of those new buses that were put into service yesterday was damaged, attacked on the boulevard on the 32 route. We have with us the head of security at the JUTC, former senior superintendent of police, Radcliffe Lewis. Good morning, Mr. Lewis.
Good morning, Mr. Hughes. Also, good morning to your listeners.
What happened last night?
Well, last night, the number 32 bus was on the way to Spanish Town with passengers and reaching Jewsland near to Mina Wilmot Bridge. Culprits attacked the bus with stones, damaging the windscreen. Luckily for us, no passengers got injured. And let me tell you something, Mr. Hughes.
And this was one of the new buses,
the new
just commissioned.
That was commissioned yesterday. Very new bus. Over the years, we have had stone throwing incidents. But to be honest, and I must admit to you, since 2024, when Minister Vaz and by extension the government announced that buses were coming, and after those set of buses coming, Mr. Hughes, the stone throwing incident has escalated out of control, and more so since the beginning of this year. Last year alone, 2024, we had 20 stone throwing incidents. And let me tell you something. For the first 6 months of this year, let me put it a different way. Up to last night, we have had 41 cases of stone throwing incidents. Since the new buses arrived, what the culprits do is to use the night
the cover of darkness.
Under the cover of darkness. It happens sometimes as early as 4 a.m. in the morning when the buses are leaving Portmore, and when they are leaving Spanish Town, they attack the buses. And what they do after they attack the buses, there's no way you can identify them. And they have certain areas that they escape in. To be frank, I'm going to tell you the areas. Central Village, White Mall. Then you have the Boulevard 6 miles up to Zedi Garden. And the trouble spot is right at Jewsland. Then you have Seaview Garden. Then you have Spanish Town Road down to 6 miles in the Riverton City area. And then you have 3 miles in that vicinity of Majesty Gardens, back to. Then you have when you pass Cement Company going towards the airport, and the left-hand side, of the road, and where you have that inner city, or let us say socially challenged area, right there. Then you have stone throwing incident. It is happening in particular areas.
No, this is like a case of cutting off your nose to spite your face. In other words, it don't make no sense at all. So are these incidents really political motivated? Because the timing of the increased attacks seems to suggest this. However, I want to refrain from speculating. But nonetheless, whether it is so or not, we need to hear the voices of the leadership of the parties loudly condemning these acts of vandalism. And let's avoid the blame game, because this is not a solution to the problem. These attacks tax will affect all commuters who take the buses. And these people need to understand that these buses aren't owned by the JLP. They are owned by us, the Jamaican people. The buses will be paid for with taxpayers' money. So every damaged bus means fewer rides for students, senior citizens, and hard-working Jamaicans who don't have a car. And every bus windshield that is damaged, that's hundreds of thousands of dollars straight from the public purse. So to those out there throwing stones, stop and ask yourself, how many rich people or politicians you ever see taking the JUTC buses? Have you ever seen Andrew Holness or Minister Vaz on these buses? The answer is no. You know that. And you know why that is? It's because they move with police escorts in air-conditioned SUVs and security. And it's hard to know that working people, many of whom are poor, are the ones using the buses, are being affected every single day. That's the domestic helper, the security guard, teachers, mothers trying to stretch the little money that they're earning to feed their children, young people trying to reach class, elders going to clinics. So you look and see who you're really affecting. Not the politicians, not the system, but your own people. And hear me now, no well-thinking Jamaican, regardless of political party, should support this or would even support this. This has nothing to do with politics. No true supporter of the PNP, past or present, would ever support this kind of destruction. And if it is rogue PNP supporters that are actually doing this, then it means that you don't know anything about the PNP or what Michael Manley stood for. Because this is a man who stood for unity, upliftment, and self-reliance. He didn't fight for a Jamaica where people destroy the very thing meant to help them rise. And here's the thing about it. If the PNP wins tomorrow, they would inherit the same damaged fleet of buses and have to spend millions of dollars of public money to repair it. Money that could be used to fix hospitals, improve roads, or fund school lunches, or some program that could benefit you, your children, or family members. This is bigger than green and red. This is about black, green, and gold. And what kind of Jamaica do we want to live in? We need unity. PNP, JLP, Jamaica for Justice, the private sector, interest groups, churches, and regular citizens. All of us must come together to protect the country's resources from this malicious destruction. The government must act in some way, shape, or form. Form a special unit, deploy unmarked vehicles, use night vision cameras, heat sensor drones, and real-time surveillance. Track down the perpetrators, charge them, make them pay every dollar for damages, even if it means seizing and selling their assets, because there must be consequences. This cannot continue. Most of these people don't know about patriotism nor national pride, and it takes people with a certain kind of mindset to do these sorts of things. These people don't love their party nor Jamaica, and that's the problem. They cannot appreciate anything good, because for those out there doing it, if you do, then prove it. Prove it by protecting the buses, not tearing them down. So let's honor the vision of people like Michael Manley, not disgrace it, and not understand what they're doing. These are things that are being paid for with your money. This should be as a symbol of national pride for all persons. Stop it, man. Use a little common sense. Like, share, and subscribe if you believe in unity, responsibility, and nation building. This is TalkSense Media, your voice of reason in the noise.